Welcome, you guys, to another episode of TJU on Air. And this is actually going to be the last episode I film here in Vegas. And today I have Donna. Donna has an amazing story, and Donna does some wonderful things here in Vegas, but she didn't always do wonderful things here in Vegas. Donna, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Nate.
I'm glad you're here. And what was your life like a long time ago, and what is it like today in a nutshell?
So I like to share an experience that I had, a traumatic experience, just because I feel like it'll help people understand why I was the way I was growing up.
Okay.
Um, November 7th, 1987 was my 10th birthday. Um, Back then, is if you're as old as I am, so you remember like making Rice Krispie treats for your class was like the super cool thing to do.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
my mom did that for me that day, and I got home from school. My mom took me to my birthday party, which was at Pizza Hut. And I remember I got this cool little caboodle with some blue eyeshadow. Super good time. We got home from my birthday party, and my mom was walking in, and I heard her cussing. So I started following her, and she went to her bedroom, and my stepdad was there, and he shot her.
And you saw that?
Yeah, yeah. He shot her once. He turned around, looked at me, and smiled, and then he shot her again. And I took off running. He chased me, threw me back in the house, and
Did you think he was gonna shoot you, or was he
I
trying
did.
to?
I did. I thought he was gonna kill me. I thought my sister was there. I thought he was gonna kill my sister. Um, he raped my sister in front of me, and then he shot himself. And we had to pass the room that he had killed himself in to get out of the house, and I just was so frozen, like I couldn't do it. My sister had to drag me out of the
How old is your
house.
sister?
13.
And you were 10.
I was 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's about as traumatic of an experience
Yeah.
that any child would ever experience.
Yeah.
What was life like after that?
Um Anger. I was very angry. I was, I lived with my grandmother, who is my mom's mom, and she was very angry. And she had just lost her daughter, and she didn't treat us very nicely. And getting sober and understanding it more now, I get it. And she just didn't know how to talk about her feelings. It wasn't a thing that we did. I ended up moving to foster care. My sister went away to a boarding school. Uh, I was in quite a few foster homes.
How did foster care go for you?
It was not good. I was in 13 different foster homes. They were not nice. I'm sure I wasn't the most pleasant teenager and child to deal with because I never went to therapy for this stuff, so I never learned how to handle it and how I was supposed to feel. So I was either running away or a lot of the foster homes, they would collect kids, and I was there to babysit, to clean. A couple of them, they would sell us off to pay the rent. So I'm having sex with adult men at 12, 13 years old so that they could pay their rent. And I learned really quickly not to trust adults. And I never felt loved. Like I felt like a toy to them. They
Mhm.
did whatever they wanted to with me. They didn't care. And who was going to care? Because I was a ward of the state.
Yeah.
The state's not gonna come in. We reported them, nothing happened. They said we were lying. So it's just we just had to handle it and deal with it. However they treated us, it was no big deal because nobody was gonna save us.
And then, like, as a young adult, how did that, how did you treat people after growing up that way? Well, you probably didn't trust hardly anyone, I assume.
Yeah, I didn't trust anybody. I still feel like I was nice to people and I treated people nicely because that's what I wanted. That's what I thrived for.
Mhm.
I just wanted to be loved and I wanted to be accepted. I just wanted hugs. I just wanted somebody to tell me it was gonna be okay,
Yeah.
and it never happened.
How long did it take for you to get into a relationship?
I was in quite a few relationships. I can never really say that I was in love
Uh,
because it was just I just needed that touch, that feeling
yeah.
of somebody that supposedly cared about me. I was in quite a few relationships.
Did you finish high school like everybody else
I
or
did.
okay.
I did finish high school. I worked really hard to finish high school.
Wow, that's
Um,
you got one up on me there.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's good. Good for you. What was it like after high school?
a lot of drinking and any job that I had to make sure that I could use or I could drink during that job. Stole from every job I ever had. Uh, I started as a bus girl at one job, and I would work there off and on, and she'd catch me stealing and fired me, and then she would let me come back, and I did that for, like, 4 or 5 years with her.
You have a lot of tattoos. When did that
Right.
start?
The day I turned 18, I got 3 tattoos.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have you had almost all of them for very long or it
Yeah, I've had most of them for a really long time. The tattoos were a way to hurt myself
mm,
'cause I've always been a self-harmer. Self-harming makes me feel better, which
okay.
sounds weird, but conflicting pain on myself makes me feel, like, euphoric almost, and I
Mm,
feel deserving of the pain. So I just tattoo myself or I would cut myself. Tattoos are prettier than the cut scars, though.
they are. They are by far. Did you ever get any to cover up other scars?
I do. I have, tattoos on both of my arms to cover scars and stitch marks.
Yeah. Do you still get tattoos on a regular basis?
I try to, but I haven't got one in a couple years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted to get one. I just don't know what to get. I overthink it too much,
Yeah.
you know?
I wish I woulda overthought some of them, but I mean, I love them. That it's who I am, and it makes me who I am, and they all are a story. I mean, I have a pill tattooed on my arm. I have a coke bag of cocaine on my arm, like, but that's who I was, in that moment, that's what I was doing, and it's kinda like memories for me.
So, how long, it was I assume it was kind of a rocky road with, lots of partying and addiction and,
Mhm.
I mean, throughout your younger years.
Yeah, for 30 years of my life, that's what it was. If it wasn't, a doctor prescribing me medications, I was getting illegal drugs and I was consistently drinking. I was stealing foster sister's medication because I hated who I was.
Mhm.
I hated the way I felt on a daily basis. I hated who I was in the mirror, and I just didn't wanna feel that.
I had somebody on here, a little while ago. Her name was Raven, and also had some real trouble with the foster care system and things that happened, and, do you think it's improved at all, or do you think it's still a rough system?
I still think it's a rough system.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I hear stories on a daily basis of clients that are still went through the foster care system and they're 20 years old. Like, it's still really bad. Like, and I feel like the foster parents they have good intentions at first. Foster kids were difficult, dude. Like, we're
Yeah.
not an easy group to deal with, and we have a lot of trauma and we have a lot of pain, and you have to be patient. You
Yeah.
have to be patient with us and if you show us a little patience and compassion, like, you can work through that stuff.
I don't know if you are or not, but have you ever thought of being a foster parent?
I have, because I feel like I would be really good at it. Like,
Mhm.
I deal with a lot of adults right now, but they're hard.
Yeah.
Even kids that, if they're temporarily being placed and they don't have a lot of trauma in their life, they're still difficult to deal with. Teenagers are just rough, dude.
Yeah.
They're rough.
Yeah. My daughter's 8 right now, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking forward to that. I'm already becoming embarrassing sometimes. So and she's 8. So I'm like, oh man, here we go.
Yeah.
As a teenager, I don't know. I get to have a lot of fun right now. So
Yeah.
it's teenagers can be tough, and a foster teenager that's been treated, abused,
Mhm.
and thrown out, whatever, all those things. I would imagine it's really tough, but they need somebody more than anybody
They do.
else. It's so terrible that the system is so broken like that. In your job today, we haven't told everybody, but what exactly is it that you do today?
I am the housing director at the Koala location for Crossroads of Southern Nevada, which is the housing department. It's transitional housing.
Okay.
So they do our detox program and then they come to us and we house them 30, 60 days and get them into therapy in groups and try to help readjust and realign them because like getting sober is super hard
Mhm.
and we don't all know what to do. We don't, most of us are broken and we don't learn how, we have to learn how to deal with our emotions and how can I do this without getting angry and breaking things and how can I live life without stealing and
Mhm.
hurting people. And that's what our Shadow Lane location does. They do groups there, then they come live at our location and we have groups for them, and we talk to them. I shared a lot, I speak in groups or meetings there, and I always tell them, like, "If you need a hug, I'm here," because that was the one thing that I think kept me in Alcoholics Anonymous and in meetings and in my recovery is they kept hugging me and telling me to come back. And that's what I thrive for my whole life. Like, I just wanted that freaking hug, dude. I just wanted somebody to want me to be there, and that's what somebody did for me, and so I kept coming back for that stupid hug and the dumb quotes, and, like, I didn't listen to the meetings at first, I was just there for the hug.
I'm laughing because I'm like, man, the hug or a handshake thing I do must really sit
Yeah,
with you.
it does, like, I bought one of the shirts and, like, I wear it to work all the time, because some people, they don't want a hug, and that's okay, I'm
Yeah,
okay with that.
you gotta. I mean, I always kind of hope for the hug, but I'll take a
Yeah.
handshake if I
Yeah,
have
I
to.
love hugs, and I'm one of the best huggers, like, I'll
There's
hug
something
anybody.
to a firm, respectful handshake, though.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to say it right, but there's a handshake that's almost like a hug,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Some guy told me he taught me a hand hug one time. I was like, I've never heard of that, but
that's
okay,
cool.
cool.
No, I get it though, like, I mean, being on the streets, people the way they shake your hand is you could tell that they're disgusted and they don't want to.
Yeah,
So, like, you get in there and it is the same thing, it's an embracing hug.
yeah. With your job today, do you see a lot of foster kids?
I not really foster kid people that have been in foster homes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I hear the stories, and that's why I share my stories with them. And they'll come up to me after the meetings and share their experiences, and it's the same.
Mhm.
It's the same, they've had a lot of the same experiences. Mind you, there are a couple I was in 13, and I wanna say 2 of them were really, really good homes. I just messed it up because I was a jerk,
Yeah.
and I didn't know how to accept the love and that they were offering me.
Man, that's a lot of homes in that
Yeah.
short amount of time. Because would
Mhm.
that be 8 years?
It was, yeah, from when I was 11 till 18,
Okay,
17, yeah.
yeah, 7,
Yeah,
6, 7 years, really. Okay, wow, it's a lot. It's
yeah.
a lot. Most people don't move that much.
I was a runner. Yeah, like, I would if I get uncomfortable or, things were starting to happen that I didn't like, I would run away and they'd move me or I would get in there and right off the jump, they're like, "We can't keep her."
Mhm.
So I have smart mouth.
Yeah, I would see that. I used to be, one myself, so isn't that funny how sometimes, people that well, we change a lot, we learn a lot, we grow a lot,
Yeah.
and as adults, we tend to be very different than we were when we were younger,
Oh, yeah.
and that's a good thing. For you, when did the homelessness start?
So I actually got married. I have been married a few times. My last husband, was a Marine,
Mhm.
and I actually had high hopes that, like, I marry this guy and we'll move away and he'll help save me and my addiction won't be a thing, and that's not how it happened. My addiction got worse. I already had a daughter. We had 3 more kids together. We're moving every few years,
For military
for
reasons?
military reasons, yeah,
Yeah.
and it is what it is, and I knew what I was marrying into, but, everywhere we moved, I could find it. Like, it never got better for me, it just got worse. I could find a doctor to prescribe me what I needed, or
What
I
was
could
your thing?
uh, so for a while, it was heroin, and then I was able to get a doctor to prescribe me OxyContin, and I'm getting OxyContin, oxycodone, Roxy's, like, they're over-prescribing me ridiculous amounts of medication.
Yeah.
And in the military, you get a 3-month supply in a month, so I have 3 months supply of my meds, and it's gone in a month and a half. So then I'm doing whatever it is I have to do to get it for the rest of those months. And, we're on Camp Pendleton in
Mm.
Cali and getting as high as I can get, and I end up naked in the neighbor's yard planting flowers. The MPs wake me up, and they frown upon that on a military base.
No way.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
they weren't happy, and they refused to let my husband at the time reenlist.
Oh,
And like, that was his life. That
yeah.
his He got in the military as soon as he graduated high school, and he's like this amazing man, and I destroyed his career in a few years, and, they
Did
ended up.
that somehow make you wanna use more?
I don't know if I could use more. I was this poor man was, like, hiding my meds from me, and he's counting them, and I'm able to sneak them out of his pocket while he's sleeping, and then I'd be mad at him because, like, "Why are my pills short? You had them," knowing that I took them.
Mhm.
Like, I'm such a dirtbag when I'm getting high, and, uh, he ends up with a $60,000 severance package. He's like, "I have family in Vegas, we'll move to Vegas." I'm like, "Great idea."
So he still stayed with you?
He still stayed with me, and, we moved here 2014, and I went through that severance package so quick.
Mm.
I'm, spending all the money, and we can't pay our bills. We have this amazing house in Summerlin, and we have no electricity, we have no hot water, and I didn't care. I'm trafficking drugs from one side of Vegas to the other to just get diapers for the kids, and, me and him got into it, and he put his hands on me, so I caught him on fire, and then I left the house because I don't wanna go to jail because I just caught this man on fire.
Let's unpack that a little bit. How did you catch him on fire?
Um, I got him with lighter fluid and flicked a match at him, and this poor man probably woulda stayed with me if I woulda came back and just been like, "I'm sorry."
But that was the end of the
That was the
relationship.
end of that relationship. He told me he was gonna take the kids to school and he'd be right back, and he never came back.
So, it going too far to say that that relationship went up in flames?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um, and then from there,
Within 30 days, I was in the tunnels.
that's it.
30 days. Like, at that point, I'm doing lines, and I went from doing lines to now I'm shooting up, and I'm in a freaking tunnel, dude. Like, I lost the car, I lost the house, everything that we owned was in that house, and I just walked away from all of that, and I figured my kids were gone, my husband was gone, I have nothing left to live for, so, I end up with a different crowd, and we have a tunnel. Let's go hang out. Okay, let's go.
What was life like in the tunnels?
It wasn't. I mean, at first it wasn't bad. It was like almost relaxing
Yeah.
because I could be who I was, and nobody was judging me, and nobody was trying to make me quit doing what I was doing because I just wanted to sorry, I just wanted to feel better,
It's
dude.
okay.
Like, I just wanted to feel better. I wanted to be happy and proud of who I was, and I wasn't. But for a little while, I didn't have to think about it, and I didn't care.
Mhm.
Um, you know, it it really wasn't that bad down there. Like, people talk about how scary it is, and it's not. It can be. It can get scary down there. I had a guy that I was down there with, and so I had my protection until he wasn't the protection, and he was putting his hands on me, and I got arrested.
Did you end up getting in some kind of, dangerous relationships in a way to stay safer?
That was exactly it, 'cause I was scared to be on the streets because you hear it all the time, like, you end up on the streets, and then you're a working girl, and you're working for somebody, and you have to do X, Y, and Z, and I had done that my whole childhood. Like, I didn't wanna do that as an
Okay.
adult,
So you didn't end up doing that again?
so I didn't end up doing that again.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
But I see it a lot with people I help with relationships
yeah,
that are out on the streets. The relationships form just out of a need or
mm.
um, safety in quotes, right? It's not a safer situation, but essentially it's something that for the female, they have somebody that's kind of protecting them or
Well,
whatever.
yeah, no matter what way you look at it, you're having sex with somebody for protection. So no matter way for drugs, I'm having sex with him, he's getting the drugs. So I'm still prostituting myself out no matter which way,
You're
however
treating
I
it one
look at it.
way.
I'm still tricking no matter, even in current relationships, healthy recovery relationships, you still are tricking no matter how you look at it. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like, "Oh, we're gonna go buy this house together. Well, I'm gonna have sex with you every day so we can go buy this nice house together." You're doing the same thing in
It's a trade one
recovery.
way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how you look at it.
I don't want people to think that tunnels are super safe. Go ahead and cruise around them and
Absolutely not.
whatever.
No.
But at the same time, I feel like it's like any kind of homeless camp, just
Mhm.
with one way in and one way out,
Yeah.
right? And there's a community there, and as long as your intentions are okay,
Yeah.
typically things will work out all right.
Yeah.
But there can always be a sticky situation with only one way in and one way out. So,
No, and there absolutely were. I've seen situations happen multiple times, and you just kinda stay out of it and
what
stay.
do you have any examples of situations you saw?
I've seen people get beat with tools, with weapons, pipes. I mean, you don't pay who you owe, like, they take care of it down there, and then you have all the other people that are gonna take care of it for them. And, I mean, we've gone up top and beat some dude up at the gas station because he owed the dope man money, like, it's not a safe environment down there, but the people, you learn how to build relationships with them, and you guys work together to get whatever everybody needs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it is like a little community, but and it's crazy because like you can steal from each other, but if an outsider comes in and steals from you, then it's all bad. Like, I mean, I've stole from everybody I live down there with,
Yeah.
everybody, and I would help him look for it, and then I'm trading it to the dope man, and he knows I stole it, but he's still gonna get it from me because I want the sack. But if somebody else comes down there and does something like that, it's all bad for them.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy. I the whole tunnel thing is so unique to this city.
Yeah.
Uh, I know there's other areas and places throughout the country where everybody, has some place where all the homeless hang out, right? But the tunnels here are so vast and so large.
Yeah.
Um, did you always stay in the same one?
I did. I started out by the Rio tunnels and I
Okay.
slowly moved my way closer to town. And there's a bridge on Maryland and Flamingo in the Seafood City tunnels.
Okay.
So there's like, you go under the bridge and then there's this huge hole in the wall. And you could go up in there and you could get from Maryland and Flamingo all the way to Tropicana in this tunnel. And that's where I stayed.
Okay.
I mean, it was nice when the city came to clean, you could stay up there and you didn't have to move your stuff because they wouldn't come up there.
Ah,
So I just stayed put the whole time.
wow.
No.
How did your journey out of the tunnels happen?
Um, I started dating the dope man,
Okay.
and, like, we had an apartment, and, then me and him weren't working out so well because, he doesn't want me to get as high as I wanna get. But
Mm,
you're the dope man, and, like, just give me my dope and let me do my thing, but I would vanish for days on end and then wonder why he's mad at me that I haven't been home for 3 days. I got some dope and I got arrested, jaywalking, which is the dumbest,
out
especially
of
when of
everything.
everything, I have an ounce of dope in my bag and I'm jaywalking, and I got arrested on a misdemeanor warrant, which
Mm,
I didn't even know I had. They hadn't even found the dope in my bag yet, and they take me to jail. And they're like, "Well, it's a misdemeanor, so we're just gonna take you to city jail." I was like, "Cool." Get to city jail, and they actually searched my bag there, and they found the dope. So I got, trafficking in 2 jails, trafficking within a school zone, and trafficking with the intent to sell, and it was 4B felonies. Like, it was a lot, and I was scared, and my public defender was amazing. Like, I couldn't even tell you who his name was, but he was amazing, and he got it down to 1B felony. I got 5 years probation. Um, didn't stay sober. Like, we learn real quick how to if I can get high for 3 weeks because I know I have to go check in at PMP, I can get sober at this time and still test negative, and I did that for a little while. Um,
As somebody who was, involved with cannabis as long as I was, that used to drive us crazy, man.
yeah,
Because like people who are doing hard drugs, especially meth, could get out of your system in a couple days,
yeah.
and over here it's like, nah. I mean, I went 5 weeks one time and still failed a test.
Oh, yeah, months. It'll stay in your system for months.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that pissed me off so much, because the other guy's over here using this weekend, and next week he's gonna go and
and
test
pass.
and
Yep,
pass.
yep,
Oh man. So you learn how to work around it and
mhm,
still keep using.
yep.
Did you ever get caught up and fail a
I
test?
did, I did. I actually had went down to the tunnels to visit, an ex-boyfriend. Me and the dope man had gotten into a fight. He broke my nose,
Okay.
um, and I had to go to court. So I went down to visit the ex-boyfriend. I'm like, "I gotta go to court. I'm locked out of the house." Like, I had to get clothes out of the tunnels to wear to court, and I go to court, and I have 2 black eyes. I have a broken nose, and, they UA me, and I failed that time, and I hadn't got high for, like, 3 days. 'Cause
So
I knew I had court and I failed and they took me to jail.
would have been like one more day, you probably been
Yeah.
all right. Yeah.
And, so I was in jail for 32 days and they sent me to a women's facility, it's We Care, and I did a couple weeks there, and I just growing up and the way that my life had always been, I didn't get along with women, so I automatically self-sabotaged my experience there. That's where they had introduced me to Alcoholics Anonymous and my recovery family now. I started going to those meetings and they're hugging me and they're doing all this weird stuff and loving me. And the 2 weeks had ended. I left. I went back to the dope man's house and between there and staying back in the tunnels, but I stayed sober because I wanted to go to that meeting and get that stupid hug.
So you're still staying sober and
Mhm.
going in the tunnels?
Yeah.
Was
And I
that
just,
hard?
it was, um, but at the same time, there were some people down there that knew that I was trying to be sober.
They respected that?
And they did, they respected that, and, like, they're telling it, "If you get her high, we're gonna beat you up.
Yeah.
Like, don't get her high, like, she's trying," and they didn't, and I never really asked them to get me high because I was really trying because I really wanted that stupid hug, and, somebody asked me to speak at Desert Hope, which is a fancy recovery, detox, and so I went and did a panel there, and one of the guys there's heard my story and heard what I'd been going through, and he's like, "I have a space. I have a house that everybody's in recovery, and I have a room if you wanna live in there." I'm like, "I don't have any money, dude. Like, I'm still living in the streets. I don't have any money." And he's like, "I don't care. Do what you need to do. Get a job, and you can pay me back." So I moved in.
Someone gave you a chance.
Somebody gave me a chance, and, I moved in. And I ended up getting a job a couple months later, and, I got my first paycheck, and I was at a meeting, and the meeting is across the street from a casino. The bus was late, and I'm like, "I'm gonna go in, spend a couple dollars," and I spent my whole paycheck.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm actually on my last dollar, and I hit, and this stupid machine starts going off, and I ended up hitting for, like, $22,000 total.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
How'd that go?
I paid this dude next to me like 4 grand to ride the bus home with me because I was terrified because they hand pay you at these machines.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of, like, Tweakerville, like, I know half the people here.
What part of
I
town
know
was
what
it?
they're Sahara and Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I used to get high on those streets right there, so people knew who I was. So he rode the bus home with me, and I paid my landlord what I owed him. I paid him what I owed him. I paid him a few months in advance. Paid all my court stuff, I bought a car, like, everything that we're supposed to do as functioning members of society, I did, And I feel like that moment is when I knew that I was on the right path. I knew I was doing what I was supposed to be doing because a junkie like me will take that and double up.
Yeah.
Like, I could have sat there and just kept gambling. I could have went and did so many other things, and I did what I was supposed to do, and I paid my debt.
That's it. I mean, one, some guy gave you a chance. Then
Mhm.
two, you went and took some big risk that no one should ever take, and
Yeah,
gamble your paycheck away, get down to the last dollar, and then hit $22,000. And
yeah,
instead of going and doing all the wrong things, you did all the right
yeah,
things. And
yeah.
then,
I was able to go visit my kids, and it had been years. It'd been like 5 years since I had seen my kids,
wow.
and the husband that I had, like, tortured for so many years was just so amazing, like, so amazing, and I'm just like, "I don't deserve this. I don't deserve everything that you're doing for me," and he was so helpful with letting me stay with him when I needed to go down there to see the kids. He never talked bad about me to my kids. He always just told them I was sick,
Mm,
and, like, my youngest was 1 when they left. She really didn't even know who I was when I got there, and then he just, like, kept pushing her towards me, and, like, he wants me to have that relationship with them, and, I expressed this to him too, like, he saved my life.
yeah.
Him leaving saved my life, and I know sometimes he struggles with the decision that he made, but if he wouldn't have done that, I may not be sober. I could
So
be dead.
where is he now?
He lives in Indiana. He has 3, my youngest 3, the oldest is, old enough, has her own babies. I have 2 grandkids now.
Wow.
Yeah, like, because he made those choices, I get to watch my kids grow up sober. I got to watch my oldest graduate high school sober. Like, these are all things I never thought that I would get to do.
He sounds like a pretty wonderful human being.
He is.
Yeah.
He is, and I wish he would give himself more credit for what he did, and I feel like he tried to love me, and he did what he could until he couldn't take anymore, and I
I
can't
mean, he took more than
more than
almost
anybody
anyone
should
would.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than anybody should have, and
When you lit him on fire, did it, like, do any damage that was permanent?
no,
Good.
no.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
We joke about it, like, he's a great guy, and we co-parent. And not a lot of people would have that relationship, especially after the things I did to him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve any of that grace. And like he says that we just want you to be sober. And
But how much of it really is about what you do or don't deserve? You know, you can't judge yourself off of your past or
yeah,
actions that happened a long time ago. So in a way, I think I don't know if deserve is even something that you should be thinking about. What
no,
you do or don't deserve. It's just, does it feel right? Do you want it right now? Is it something that fits?
no,
Then it works.
no. I mean, my kids are happy. He just bought a house last year, and like he's got a wonderful woman in his life, and he's happy, and that makes me happy
That's good.
that I didn't totally destroy this man.
Yeah.
That he can move on and, like, do the amazing things that he wants to do.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. And a day in the life for you. Well, obviously, we know what it was like, but
Yeah.
what is it like now?
Um, I run the housing department. There's 130 clients that we house right now. It's a lot. Mentally, it's exhausting. I work 5 days a week. I have a man in my life who is in recovery, and he's doing amazing, and we have his 13-year-old daughter that lives with us, which can be a struggle some days because teenagers are just difficult.
Yeah. So now you're a stepmom.
Yeah, so it kind of, and I try to be for her what I didn't have,
Hmm.
but it's hard,
Does she accept that?
sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes, and she tries, and she goes through her own things as a teenager, and, um, I know there was a period, like, I had some resentment because I don't get to be with my kids, and I spend a lot more time with this one, and I'm, like, down on myself,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, I should be able to do this and that, and, like, I'm only one person, so I do the best that I can,
That's all you
my
can do.
yeah, my kids need me, they need anything, I send them whatever it is they need, and I do what I can for this one, and I just try to be the best example I can be. Am I always? No. No,
Hmm.
but I've learned that I need to apologize when I'm wrong, and I try to do that as much as I can.
I feel like at your current job, you end up probably playing a motherly role pretty often too.
I do. I get called Mama Donna a lot,
I had a
a
feeling.
lot.
Yeah.
It is a hard job, and we do butt heads. Like, I don't and I tell the clients this, I don't like all of them, and I don't have to like all of them to respect them and to want them to get sober, and that's okay. Like, I treat them all the same no matter what. Um, but it can be difficult. You're constantly, like, calling my name, "Donna, Donna." Like, some days I just wanna shut the door and ignore it,
Hmm.
but I know that I can't. Like, I need to be that voice for them. I need to hug them when they need it. Sometimes I have to be a referee between staff and clients because they butt heads, and it's gonna happen. We're not all gonna get along.
Yeah.
That's 130 personalities plus my 20 staff. That's a lot of different personalities that you're trying to make be in a small building, and you all have to get along, and we're gonna do that. It's never gonna happen. It's
Yeah.
never gonna happen.
Like, where do you see yourself going from here?
Um, to be honest, I love my job.
Hmm.
I, uh I love that I get to be a voice for my staff. I get to be a voice for my clients. Um, I'm not quiet when I don't think something is wrong. Like, my bosses probably don't appreciate that as much as my staff do because I'm not always nice about it, and I'm probably not as polite. And um, I stick up for people that can't do it for themselves.
Yeah.
And I wish I could do it with more grace sometimes. 'Cause my bosses have said that, like, "All right, well, when you can calm down, call us back," because I'm passionate about it, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, "This isn't
Passion
working."
can,
Yeah, like, I need you guys to understand, like, this is a struggle for them, and
yeah.
I need you to understand that, and, like, this is hard, and we need this done. So,
Do you find that you can, as long as you can turn your passion into drive rather than anger, you can get things done,
yeah,
right?
I'm doing better at that.
Yeah.
At first, it was anger, and I feel like I'm changing and I'm growing in who I am, and my staff has made that actually happen. Like, dude, I have amazing people that I get to work with.
You have anybody you've worked with that has made a big imprint on your memory, somebody that's made an impression on you?
Dude, all of them do. They all do. They all have a special place for me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I've worked at Crossroads a lot for a while, and it's always been hard for me to like take PTO
Mm,
because I didn't trust the staff. I didn't trust that they would do the things how it should be done. And like, I've been able to take vacations, and I'm going to see my kids in July. I'm going to Hawaii in August. And I know that it's going to be okay because they work together,
yeah.
and they've grown so much as a team. And I watch them work together. Like, I don't even worry about it.
I heard that Jason guy that works with you is pretty good.
He's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all right. No, the clients love him. He does a 2 p.m. group, and the clients love the group. I
Yeah.
hear about it all the time. Um, he he uh he's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
We go to the gym every or Saturday, and like we just decompress from the week. And it's like I can talk about whatever I need to talk about. If I'm having relationship issues, like he's helped walk me through some stuff that I didn't even realize I was doing in a relationship.
Mm.
And he's helped walk me through that. And like my relationship is doing better.
Yeah, he came on the show and he was a little nervous, and yet when I've seen him at Koala House, he's like in home, like
Yeah.
he is super happy and can connect with everyone and wherever he goes. It's
Hmm.
pretty cool, and you get to do that as well.
Yeah.
And Mama Donna at work. That's really cool that you're able to do what you do today
Yeah.
and share your experiences and the knowledge you gained through
Yeah.
that life you've lived. Uh, that's something that you can't go out and learn.
Yeah. For sure.
I say that a lot because uh, it's not something anybody's going to say, well, I want to learn how to do this. So I'm going to go live this life and then use it later in life to help
Yeah.
other people. I like to help people. And I figured I've never been homeless myself. Addiction's something for me that was I figured out and worked through 'em on my own. So it's been different for me.
Yeah.
And I think the best way to learn anything is to go talk to the people dealing with it directly and listen
Yeah.
and figure out ways to improve and be better and be compassionate and try to help any way I can. That's what I like to do, and that's why I'm out there all the time.
I know so when we got to go see you in Reno,
Hmm.
it was such a dope experience to watch you interact with them because Vegas, we don't really get that. Like the homeless crowd doesn't get the compassion and like, these people, their names. Like it was so cool. I came home and bragged about that like for a week after that because it was just so cool to watch that. Um, and like your guys' homeless shelters and stuff that you have out there are so amazing. Like
Yeah,
if we could combine Vegas and Reno, like it would be so dope to combine the two and
I know.
help so many people. Like you guys are missing one aspect of it and we're missing an aspect of it and it would just be so cool.
Maybe. I mean, I see things growing in both places, and if you're right, if it was combined, it
Yeah.
would. I mean, it would fill every gap.
Mhm.
You guys are really overwhelmed down here. There's so many
Yeah.
people, and no matter how quick you build something that's sustainable, that works, it's a program that has a facility and a staff. The homeless grow at such a rapid rate, you just can't catch up.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I wonder for you if you have the same opinion I do, but when you were younger, did you see homelessness being as bad as it is today?
No,
Not at all,
not
right?
at all.
Yeah. I don't remember it
I
like
don't
this.
remember it ever being like this.
I know, and I don't understand. I mean, I do. I'm involved with it. I understand the reasons why it is as bad as it is, but at the same time, I'm like, what? I don't know how to fix it. What do we, there's no
Yeah,
blanket
there's
answer. I know that. I know that. But do you think fentanyl is a big, like, problem and what's making it increase so much?
I don't know if it's just the fentanyl. I mean, like the clients that I deal with, like they're putting in applications for apartment complexes. They have felonies.
Yeah,
So they can't get into an apartment because they have felonies, but they can get into like these weeklies. So, but they can't afford the weeklies.
I
So they're
know.
going to go back to the fast money because that's the only way they can afford these weeklies.
Sometimes these decisions that people make, I mean, all of us, whatever, it gets us in a spot where you can never like outgrow it or
Mhm.
outrun it just because of the way the system attaches things to you,
Yeah.
and it keeps people in that spot. And sometimes you wonder if it's made that way on purpose.
Yeah, to weed out people. I mean, I see it all the time. I mean, and then they get super discouraged. They can't get in anywhere. They can't get approved anywhere. You can't afford to do the $100 application fees at some of these higher end places, and they're still going to do a background check. And then you're stuck at a weekly. You're stuck
Yeah.
at the Siegel Suites or the Budget Inn, and that's not a good place for anybody that's trying to be in recovery.
No, I stayed at the Seagull Suites in Reno when I first moved there. I had no idea what it was. It was just like, oh, cool, this will work till I can find a house.
Yeah.
I was making 100 grand a year. No big deal. I was just, I'll save some money. I'll stay here. And I remember one time a guy approached me when I was doing my laundry, and he's like, "Hey, man, you get high?" And I'm like, at the time I was like, "On what?" And that was when it was just weed for me. And he's like, and you smoke crystal? And I'm like, no. He's like, oh, okay. Well, if you want to, I'm in this room,
Just in case.
oh, okay. He's like, but by the way, you got to be careful around here, man. There's cameras everywhere. The FBI are watching us right now. They're probably listening in. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn, I moved into one of these places. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize it was like
Yeah.
that. But I kept to myself. I didn't
No.
it didn't deter me, it didn't pull me back into anything. And I don't know, you have to recognize those things when you're around them, and make sure you stay away, or be smart about it if it's at a point where it could pull you into something that you shouldn't be involved with.
Yeah.
There's a balance there, right? You want to help people, but at the same time, you want to make sure you're doing okay as well.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to Hawaii in August.
Yeah.
I'm going with my best friend, and we're just gonna get away, not answer our phones, and just enjoy life for a little bit. Just me and her.
Yeah. I keep asking this on every show I
Mm.
do, but you've seen what I do. You've watched my videos. You've been out with me.
Yeah.
You got any advice for me?
Um, I think that we've talked about this before, actually, at dinner.
But nobody else has heard it.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, I think everything that you do is amazing, and you are consistently doing things for like I you do things for the same people and over again, and like you said, it sometimes makes it easy for them
mhm.
to be out there because, hey, we'll just ask Nate and he'll do it again. Like, you know, limitations to some of the things.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll do this for you, but I need you to do X, Y, and Z for me.
Mhm.
Nothing like harsh, nothing like, you have to go to detox and do this, but something to, and at the same time, that helps them. They earned it. At that
Yes.
point, then they're earning it. They're not doing, you're not just giving, they have to earn something. And that helps their self esteem at the same time.
Yeah, I need to. It can start as a one-way street
Mm.
with just open help, but
Yeah.
to continue, it needs to be two-way. We got
Yeah.
to work this together.
Hey, go do some community service, bro.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be anything like hard. Just go do some community service.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be sober to do that.
I think, yeah, like something as simple as, oh, you need an ID. Well, if you make the appointment, I'll
Yeah.
take you.
Yeah.
But it's funny how something as simple as making an appointment at a DMV can all of a sudden prevent someone from doing it.
Yeah. Just,
A small commitment.
and then once they do that stuff, they, it gives them a little bit of pride in themselves.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I
Yeah.
do. I want to work on that. It's
Mhm.
good advice. I've already thought about it, but I want to work on it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I do. Any questions for me?
No, I think you're amazing. Every time you're in town, I try to hit you up and go to dinner and stuff because it's just cool to talk to you, and I love what you stand for and what you do for everybody, and people need that. That hug can sometimes save somebody's life.
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee there's somebody that didn't kill themselves one day because you hugged them.
Yeah, that's I sure hope so. I do. And it's funny, people say like Nate must have not been hugged enough as a child. No, not at all. Not
Yeah.
at all. I was hugged all the time. I had no I grew up in a great household. I had
Yeah.
no problem. Great childhood, lots of good friends. Um Nah, everything was good, but the thing is, biggest reason I started doing it is just because everybody I would run into, it would seem like they were apprehensive about coming in for a hug. They'd be like,
Yeah.
well, you probably don't want to hug me because I stink,
Mhm.
or something along those lines. And I'm like, screw that, bring it in, let's go. I don't care,
Yeah.
And the other thing, we were coming right out of the pandemic, and everybody was just scared to touch or do
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm like, I don't care, let's go for it, take the risk. Shake my hand, give me a
Yeah.
hug, no big deal, and a lot of times people would just be like, "Can I hug you?" It's like, "Yeah." So instead of waiting for them to kind of like be scared to ask, just offer it, let
Yeah.
it go. So it just turned into a hug or a handshake.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Um, with that being said, well, which one is it? A hug or a handshake,
Hug
Donna?
for sure.
All right, let's go. Thanks for coming on the show.